Match kicking off in just a few moments' time. Oldham, first of all, Richard Lepori, who has really caught the eye this year. Mo Agoro, Dave Cookson, John Ford and Dale Bloomfield, the three-quarters. Lewis Palfrey and Kenny Hughes in the halves. And up front, Jason Bolts, Sam G, Phil Joy in the front row, Danny Langtree, Josh Crowley and Mark Hobson in the back row. And on the bench for Oldham today, Adam Files, Matthew Haggerty, Michael Ward and Liam Thompson, and Scott Naylor is their coach. Rochdale lining up like this for this big game. Wayne English is a fullback, Gareth Langley, Danny Davis, Dave Hull and Martin Waring on the wing. Paul Crook and Steve Roper are the halves. And up front, Carl Forster, Chris Hoff, Warren Thompson, the back row of Dave Llewellyn, Alex Trumper and Joe Greenwood. And on the interchange bench for Rochdale today will be John Cookson, Jordan Case, Chris Baines and Alex McClurg. Ian Talbot is their coach.
Good afternoon, Dave. Thank you. You've already mentioned what a lovely day it is for it at Leigh Sports Village. The Championship 1 playoff final, a local derby between two sides that know each other rather well. Head-to-heads this year, 2 apiece. We saw the game in round 17 of Championship 1 where it all got a little bit fiery. But not only that, in terms of local bragging rights at stake this afternoon, but promotion to the Championship for the winners of this playoff final. Two teams as well with a burning desire to end a trophyless streak as Rochdale takes to the field, ending a 22-year wait for a final appearance, ending the longest wait in the professional game. As for Oldham, their 5th final at this level, a record as well within the game. They haven't won any of the previous 4 going back to 2001. Both sides then keen to put that record to an end. And as we've mentioned, Brian, these two sides know each other well.
They certainly do. 5 times is it this year? Who's going to dare to do something different and break the game open? That's the pressure that comes with a big game. Can you do something off of your script? Can you do something that will bring home the spoils? Or are you going to grind one out? Are you going to stick in there and just do the things that have been successful all year? What do you think, Gareth?
I think it's going to be close. I'd be amazed if it's anything but. I'm looking forward to seeing the 2 standoffs play, Palfrey and Crook. I think it was probably just about honours even, Brian, when they played at Scotland, but a couple of weeks ago, Crook certainly got the better of him, had a huge game to help Rochdale win. So I think how those 2 play could be crucial today.
Oldham have played Rochdale in 2 of their last 3 games, going back to August 15th. Quite bizarre to think that since we last saw Oldham, they've only played 2 games since then. Had a month off in the wait for their playoff games. Both of these sides playing 2 playoff fixtures. 2 weeks ago, Rochdale beating Oldham to book their place. Oldham then had to play London Scholars. And now a stake at the Championship, a place in the Championship at stake, as it's Rochdale that get us underway and apply the pressure early on. It's that Oldham attack.
Well, somebody was trying to explain to me the other day about the softening up period in rugby league. Having played over 400 games and coached over 300 games, I'm thinking that only lasts for about 80 minutes.
I think it'll be full on for the full 80, Brian. I'd be surprised if it's not today.
Especially between these 2. Oldham see out their first set. Tracking back a little. Slip from Gareth Langley, former Oldham player. It's the Hornets in their first play of the game. Strong tackling from Jason Bolts of Oldham, 7th season with the club. And float away from Rochdale as well. Not too much space there.
Well, very early in this piece, Rochdale's willingness to offload the ball on a couple of occasions in their sets of 6 might just be a feature of the way they're thinking of going today.
And Carl Forster started well, hasn't he? Had a big game at Scotland last time. He's the St Helens dual reg prop, and Greenwood here, the other dual reg player. Those 2 have started well for Rochdale in their first set of 6.
Along they come, this time they kick to the corner, putting pressure on Agoro. It's caught as well, was it put down? Went up for it.
Gone to
get there, looked like he may have left it. Martin Waring Chris Leatherbarrow, our referee, and we've gone to the video referee to have a look. Has Waring got the ball down?
Okay, we're checking the onside, so the first thing is from the kick. If foot, yeah, that looks onside. Ball's on the foot. Just want to check the catch now. Probably need the angle from the corner, I think. Let's check this one. Who gets there first? That's the Rochdale player. Hands on it, loses it. I think the ball goes dead. So we'll just check the restart. It'll be a 20-metre restart. Yeah, hands are on it. Loses it there, so it's no try, 20-metre restart, Chris.
No try then for Martin Waring. Really in this game, just couldn't keep hold.
Good call from the video referee. Jumped really, really well, didn't he? Waring got up above his opposite number Agoro there, and that may be another feature, a little bit of a tip of where Rochdale might want to kick to.
Yeah, and the first signs of Crook's kicking game as well, which will be crucial for them. That was right on the money, wasn't it? Waring almost did the hardest bit in catching the ball. A near miss for the Rochdale Hornets.
Sam G forced to the ground on his 40-metre line. Oldham looking to build away. It's Phil Joy, local lad from Oldham. And the kick from Oldham, just forcing back.
Is that a knock on?
He said he went backwards out of his hands, didn't he? It was one of those that might have looked a bit different second viewing, but a bit of an escape for Rochdale, weren't?
He's had a couple of slips and a couple of fumbles early on, hasn't he? Langley, what's this? Let's have a look. Yeah.
Close call. Puts the hands on, does look backwards, bounces forward.
Yeah, first movement was backwards, so good call, referee. We've had a pop at the referee early on in this game, and he's got one right.
Championship 1 referee of the year, Chris Leatherbarrow. Cutting in on this side. Dave Llewellyn. Spun back to Paul Crook. Puts boot on ball. Crook was the man who landed the last-minute drop goal to beat Oldham in the qualifying semi-final. Took the quick tap, did Wayne English, tried to get away. So is Lepori. Knocked on though. Rochdale back with the ball.
Yeah, I think it's Joy that's lost the ball there, hasn't it? This is the real first full set now that anyone will have here. Rochdale a full set of tackles to attack the Oldham line.
On that shorter side, spin around. Alex Trumpery pushed further on. Across they come now. Looking to get a man through. Looks like they have. Rochdale are through with Daniel Davis.
I think it was Dave Llewellyn, actually. Ian, I think he's just pushed through. I think the ball from the half, and I think Llewellyn has broken the tackle and finished with a plum, as they say. And this first set of sitting, here's the error from Joy. We think Joy loses the ball, which gives Rochdale their field position, and here we see, yeah, it's definitely Llewellyn. He pulls away from the defender and squeezes up. Great start, Rochdale. Good try.
Yeah, great ball from Roper, isn't it? I think it's Palfrey who just came a little bit further out of the line than anybody else there. It allowed Llewellyn through a bit of a hole, pushes one defender off there, and he's through. He made a strong run earlier in the game as well, Llewellyn. He started well. And as Brian said early on, you know, Rochdale showing a willingness to go wide at every opportunity from the start.
Born in St Helens, Dave Llewellyn, a PE teacher. This is Gareth Langley helped him bringing him to Rochdale Hornets, and now Crook will line up the extras. The extra two are added as well. Scored number of points as Paul Crook in this Championship 1 season. Top goal scorer, in fact, as well.
Here's the money ball. Roper just feeds Llewellyn, who's on the outline, and gives great see you later on the inside. And Gareth said it, they look sharp, they look ball movement, they look relaxed, and good start, Rochdale.
Well, these two sides have met 4 on 4 occasions prior to today this season. Aggregate score was only 10 in favour of Oldham ahead of kick-off today. Slightly closer now.
And this is Warren Thompson, the prop here, who apparently was supposed to be on holiday this weekend, and the club have played his airfare. He was supposed to be in Spain, flying out on Friday. The club have paid for him to stay. That's how highly they rate his contribution. So I'm sure Thompson in the Rochdale front row will be looking for a big game today.
Look at his passport in his back pocket as well.
Huff goes on the short side. Trumprue pushes up towards halfway. Looking for the offload. 5 tackles used up. Here's Huff, dummy half. Pressure on. Comfortably taken though by Wayne English. Sorry, it's Richard Lepori.
He's had big raps this year, hasn't he, Lepori? He looks quick, he looks sharp in the backfield. He's a couple of catches there. He was surely looking to show his prowess and a little bit of support play as well.
Yeah, the one shame for him, I saw a couple of the Oldham officials at the awards night the other night. Lepori's been trying to get in the Italian squad for the World Cup and paid his airfare a couple of times over to the European games, and apparently he's been told that he's just missed out despite being man of the match last week. So he'll another one with a bit to prove this afternoon, perhaps.
He's got a couple of tries, didn't he, while he was out with Italy. Came back for the victory over Scholars.
Wait! Guys, you're waiting! You're waiting! Wait!
Now the ball rolling through, restart for Rochdale on the 20, so they go again. Huff directing things in a dummy half there.
You got to add your value, haven't you? You know, Chris Huff with this Hornets team, you know, he's experienced, been at both camps, good campaigner. Start of a game, you need that steadying influence, that little bit of direction, that little bit of rudder, and he fits all that criteria, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think at the game at Spotland, Rochdale's best periods were when Huff was on the field, and McClurg, the hooker on the bench, is a good player as well, so they'll be hoping for impact from both today.
Joe Greenwood puts Rochdale in the opposition half. Strong tackling there. Flown in by Danny Langtree.
It was a great spot from Langtree, wasn't it?
On 5, wait, go 5.
This time just floats it a bit further back. The extra space for the kick. Chased though by Wayne English, couldn't get there. Lepori brings it away. Round 1.
You can see why people like him, don't you? Great catch, good footwork. And then his partner in Kai Magoro, the play afterwards, if he gets a quick play of the ball. It's a fair combination.
Yeah, this is the first bit of momentum that Oldham have had now. They'll be looking to build on that.
Strong tackle. This play from Rochdale. Calls a forward from the fans. The referee lets it go. Plenty of balloons floating across the field as well. Here at Leigh Sports Village. Here's G. Just looked all right. Let it slip. Huff's there to pounce on top.
Great kick pressure from Trumper. Flew out the line. Stopped the kick getting away from it, and that's a big plus to start a set there instead of having a catch on their own line from Rochdale.
Yeah,
they look enthusiastic, don't they, Gareth?
They do, yeah, and that was Oldham's first chance, I guess, to put a pressure kick on Rochdale as well, and that chance has escaped them now.
So Rochdale playing in their first final for 22 years. Taking the early lead.
Go, good.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, Ian, that the kit that they're playing in today, Rochdale, is a nod to the 1922 Challenge Cup final win, which was the last time they won some silverware, so plenty at stake for these Rochdale lads today.
91 years ago, if my calculator's correct.
They've washed well, haven't they?
Go.
The kick now cross field. Maybe not as far as they'd have hoped. English was underneath, palmed it back, but it's landed up in the hands of Oldham, over halfway. Here's Lepori, gets the ball back out as well.
Langtree.
The charge is through. Langtree, can he get there? No. Shot down 10 short. Piling forward now, Oldham. Agoro, can he find any space? Opposite again. Driving underneath, looking for a way through. Palfrey offloads again. Phil Joy quickly closed down. Hovering on that 10-metre line now as G goes on that left side, stretching that Rochdale defence. They've got men over and they crash down into the corner. Have they got their first try of the game? Chris Leatherbarrow's going to have a look at it.
Onto the screen, I think he's hit forward with the finish.
And we go to the video referee once again.
Kevin is looking at the ground in here. So is there any separation? Does he retain the ball? Is it on the white line? That's sufficient for us. So he's got possession there, still got his hand on it. That appears as though it's on the line for me. Don't know if we're going to have another angle on that. This might tell us. No. There we are, I think. Yeah, it's definitely over the line there, so happy with that. That's a try, Chris.
John Ford awarded his 24th try in all competitions this season. He's the Championship 1 top scorer. Just nudges himself further on the top of that table and gets his Oldham side back into this game. It'll be a tricky kick, but it could all be level.
Well, I thought that'd been knocked forward by an Oldham player. But Langtry comes up with the ball and he's away with the races. Gets great support from Lepora, gets the ball back to Langtry. Probably didn't want it, but makes another 15 metres, and then the finish in the corner by Ford. Good hands through Hughes, and he gets the ball down in the end, which is a good finish, and probably a deserved try on the back of, again, Lepora being involved on the break. Great kick.
The extra 2 added as well. 6 apiece. Lewis Palfrey sticks it between the two. We're all back level. And we see as well the influence that John Ford has had on this side this year.
Yeah, well, he's a Salford player, he's on Salford books, but he's played all year on loan at Oldham, and he's done them a great job. He's been injured recently. You see that elbow strap in there, and he's recovered from that elbow injury, and great start for him in this final. A great kick from Palfrey. 6-6.
Yeah, he missed the game at Spotland Ford, didn't he, when we were there a few weeks ago, and Josh Crowley, who I think Brian picked out as man of the match that day, he's now gone back to his more natural position of second row, so double boost for Oldham when Ford plays. He's certainly a danger for them.
Jason Bolt striving up to that 20 with a first carry for Oldham. Lepori trying to sneak away again.
Yeah. Good distinctive running side, hasn't he? It's quick, looks sharp, looks dangerous around the ruck, and Rochdale will have to pay some attention there, especially when Agoro's the next carrier.
Kick early in the set. It's from inside that 40. Heading nowhere near the touchline, but underneath it's Wayne English. Rochdale born. Can't find a hole in that Oldham line. Taken down by Phil Joy. Oldham going down that right-hand side. So using the big men.
Yeah, Greenwood and Forster have put the hands up plenty, haven't they, early in the game. The two Saints lads, here's Forster now. Both of those guys trying to take Rochdale forward. That's a good set for them. They've come off their own line, made it into the Oldham half.
So Huff offers it off to Crook. Still along the ground. Trickles through. Just bounces up nicely.
Good kick. Good chase, followed up by 3 Rochdale defenders ready to finish off. The smart little kick from Crook. Here we see him threading the needle and putting the ball through right into the corner flag. Oldham with the tough stuff to do now.
So they come finding a little space as well. A ragged defence from Rochdale.
Well, I've been impressed with the start of
Barging their way through.
Crowley and Langtry. The back rowers for Oldham have been incisive and
kick through, and I put the pressure on English. No real support in extra men there. 5 red shirts around him as he tried to get away.
They're trading blows now, aren't they, already? You know, 2 similar sets there where they've come off their own lines, put good kicks in, turn the ball over the way they want to. And often in these situations, it's which team comes up with a mistake first.
Oldham trying to keep that pressure pedal down that end. Rochdale struggling for room in this set. Little knock as well in the tackle. Cole Forster has taken a bit of time out. Looks like a bit of a blood injury there on his eye.
Yeah, he's got some claret leaking from his eyebrow. He's obviously clashed heads on somebody's knee as he's gone down, and he's had it there on the knee.
Finds the knee of Bloomfield.
Which split him, as I say in boxing parlance. He's got a split and some claret, so they'll need to fix that. We're not allowed to continue whilst there's blood flowing in rugby league, so they'll be looking to patch him up on the field if they're allowed to do that. If not, he'll be dragged away to the sideline and a couple of staples put in all stitches.
I'm told what they're watching on as a little bit of tape or bandage is put around the head. Scott Naylor as well, using the opportunity to maybe feed a few instructions down to pitch side.
I'm impressed with Oldham. It's a reflection on the start of this game. Foss has been big for Rochdale, and obviously Crooks with his kicking game. But the two back rows for Oldham have impressed me. They've both made break Langtry on a number of occasions, hasn't he?
Yeah, they've been good all year for them from what people in Championship 1 have said. And they'll go to Crook again here. Rochdale needs another big kick.
Magoro's tracking back. He's going to have to save the ball. Does eventually, has a good look at it first. Pointed towards the line by Lepori.
I love that when a full-back does that to a block coming back for the ball. Run over there really hard as you can, because I don't want the ball.
Both sets of supporters now are starting to hear. We've got the Rochdale ones down to our left in front of us, Oldham ones opposite us. Palfrey's gone for another early kick.
Little chip over the top. English again, tracking back. Martin Waring there in support. Thinks about Waring. Keeps him himself. See the interchange being of use as well.
I think Oldham fancy the kick-chase game. I think you've seen there that Palfrey decided to go on a couple of plays early on a number of occasions and marshalled his troops down there, and I think they fancy this physically as the game goes on.
Just muscling the Rock back a few metres as well there. A bit of a quick momentum swinging with Rochdale down that right-hand side. Want to keep the ball moving. Final play of the set. Again, Ogoro's and I picked this one up as it got kicked. Just checks dead on the line.
That was a good. The swapping blows to get into that final type of game where Crooks has kicked really well there, and that's been complemented by a decent chase from the Rochdale team as well. So both teams prepared to fish out the error.
And it's been pretty error-free, hasn't it? We saw one early on by Oldham that was punished, but it's a high-quality game. It feels like a grand final for these two clubs at the moment.
Spinning into the line. Look at Carl Forster with his bandage around the head, and another kick as well. It's on tackle 4 this time from Oldham. Straight down the throat.
Well, Langley didn't have to do much there, did he? A little bit of a radar on that one, and gives Rochdale an extra. When you don't find the grass or you don't find space on your exit kicks, gives the opposition, just for our viewers, an extra 15-20 metres to play with at the front end of the field.
That's Greenwood again. I think he's had a drive in at least every set and a couple in some of them, and Rochdale will kick early again now through Crook.
Crook again, they're looking, was he looking for the 40-20?
He cramped his kick a little bit because he had to stay in the 40. He should have just gone on with it and gone for the field position. Here's this man,
Here comes Lepori having a go. Thought he saw the light.
Well, I'll tell you something, if Lepori hasn't made the Italian squad, then, and it's Anthony Minicello that's replacing him, then he looks to model his game, looks very sharp in the backfield, looks to come into the ground, and you don't mind losing your place to somebody like a Minicello, I suppose.
No, he's got a big game, quite a big game next week, I think, hasn't he, on Premier Sports?
Palfrey pops it Back inside as they drive through with Langtree. Now with Jason Bolts. Lost in the 2009 final and the 2010 final with Bolts. A little space open up as well. Nice catch. Nice turn.
Did well there, Langley, didn't he? Did really well. He was under a heck of a lot of pressure. Watch this. Woo, turns, and maybe the winger should have cleaned him up, but here we go, some expansion from the Hornets now.
Men over on this left-hand side. Runs inside.
Llewellyn again, he's had a big first 20 minutes.
On the back of Langley's carrying. Llewellyn carries it on as well.
I can smell more points, Rochdale. Forster looks a little bit forward. Retain possession though. This time from little scamper from dummy half, finding some space and running back around. It looks like they're in again. They are. Davies is down. Rochdale just opening up a little bit of momentum within the game, sensing that their tails were behind them. And more points for the Rochdale side. They lead 10-6.
I think at the game at Scotland a few weeks ago, we saw some tries scored off the back of long Gareth Langley runs, and he started this set of 6 with that breakaway. Davies, who also had a good game that night, finished it, and Llewellyn with a part to play in the middle as well.
Well, it was Trumpin running an outline. He had nowhere to go. You watch here Trumpin come and just drops it back off inside, and there's no Oldham inside defence, and not spoken them, not closed the hole, and Davies has a straight run in, and Trumper was handled. He'd gone to the sideline and nowhere to go, and just tipped it off, dumped it off really to Davies, who thought, well, I best go that way, and there was nobody there. And amazing how these things open up. They'll be disappointed that will Oldham, but it's a great score for Rochdale.
Yeah, right off their own line as well, wasn't it? Because the kick was decent there from Palfrey, wasn't he? He picked it up within 5 metres of his own line, Langley. Suddenly he gets a breakaway, the momentum shifts, and Crook now has a conversion to get it back to a 6-point game.
And the extra 2 are added. It is back to a 6-point game. There is Davies. He scored in the round 17 fixture, which we had live here on Premier Sports Scotland.
Well, there's the break from Llewellyn. Got good leg speed, hasn't he? And the fractured defensive line of Oldham in the middle, and then Davies just dumped the ball back inside and just has to finish it. Well done.
Oldham in the regular season finished 9 points ahead of Rochdale. Won 2 more games as well in the regular season. All those stats, all the history mean nothing ahead of this 80 minutes. Played the first quarter now, and it's Rochdale, that 6-point lead. There's Forster again. A few moments ago, just had a little cut above his eye, so now got the bandage around his head. Muscle their way through again, that Oldham line. Early kick again. Crook is looking for that 40-20, isn't he? Is he going to get it this time? Is it quite heading towards the touchline? No, it runs dead.
Every time he kicks the ball, though, there's a dangerous something happening, isn't he? He's put it in the in goal a couple of times, got a couple of good wide kicks. Very talented player.
Well, if I'm Coach Naylor, I'm sending the message down to the Oldham troops that you've got to put some pressure on his kick. I think they've got to take a punt there, because the little bits we've seen of him already in this game, if you give him time to make the kicks, he'll get them away and punish you.
Adam Files on for Rochdale. Sorry, for Oldham. He's lost the ball. Now it is Rochdale in possession. He got the free play.
I'm still not a fan of this rule, just for moments like that, I guess. It just seems to lead to chaos at times. They had the kick out wide, and then I think if Waring takes the tackle there, he's made an extra 10-15 metres, and they're on the front foot. They've got to come back for a while now.
Well, he dropped the ball. I don't disagree with you. Had he taken the tackle there and not dropped the ball, they would have had a 0 tackle with his extra metres and the advantage. So I'm a fan of the play. I know it causes confusion and chaos, but hey, we like a little bit of that in rugby league, and I thought there maybe the adjudication should have been they'd been given the advantage, then he just dropped the ball cold. You know, those are the debating points, aren't they? But it does lead to moments of excitement.
Well, they're back in possession. with Roper.
And frustration for Gareth, of course.
So it was English who was taken down on this side. Now Dave Holt on his back. As the interchange, hooker Alex McClurg is on. Another drive again from Llewellyn. Through hands they go. A couple of tackles remaining in this set then for the Hornets. It was around this area of the park where they crossed a few moments ago. The final play, what can they do? Here comes the kick. They're underneath it, retaining possession, but can't get over turnover ball.
Well done, Agoro. He couldn't quite come up with the ball. Waring had it at one point there, and then he took it off him. He's definitely a ploy of the Rochdale kicker. Crooks, isn't it? In this part of the field, they're going to test Agoro out all for the next 60 minutes. They've tried it twice in the first 20, and Oldham need to pick their straps up a little bit here. They're just guilty of a couple of errors in their own half, a little bit scruffy in what they're doing, and Rochdale are taking full advantage.
David Coxon with the previous drive as now Oldham float the ball across the field. Has to get the motors going. A couple of men to beat, they've done it as well. Snuck it back inside and a little pass.
That's
it's gone
a huge
forward,
call,
says the referee.
Huge call.
Snuck out the back door. Oldham are off.
All I can think is that the touch is in a good position here. Has he had a call from the touch judge in relation to whether this was forward or not? Let's have a look.
The first run. And here we go.
Yep, I think so. I think that's a good call from the official.
Yeah, it's Hughes to Thompson, I think, isn't it? It was quick play, but he does look in front of him on that replay. But he was aware, wasn't he? Thompson there, it'd been difficult to stop.
Nice move. Almost came off. The Hornets with that 6-point lead and ball back in hand. It's McClurg at dummy half. Looked a little forward as well. Making good meters. A couple of tackles remaining now. Through Crook and into Roper, who was...
Oh, that's a knock-on and a half. That's a great tackle. Cookson? Was it Cookson that rattled his cage? Yeah, get that into you.
Good hit.
Welcome to the final. Boom.
Didn't see him standing in the way.
That's definitely a for shizzle for sure hit. Boom. Get that into you. That's rugby league. Good tackle.
Wins the ball back as well for Oldham.
They needed that kind of play, Oldham, I think. I think the game's just gone a little bit arm wrestling, a little bit flat. They needed something that'll lift the players. Great contact. And a good carry.
He's a good player, Josh Crawley, isn't he? We've seen him a couple of times, you know, tough, rugged, and I think he is more suited to the second row than centre as well. He could have a big bearing.
They're making pretty light work of the Rochdale defence in the last few minutes, are Oldham. Palfrey just offering it back inside to Thompson.
He's made an impact, hasn't he, Thompson?
Kick into the in-goal area. Tackled in the in-goal area.
Just goes to show you get one great defensive play, it sparks your team up, all of a sudden you're at the other end of the field and the momentum shifted back towards Oldham. Great kick.
Bit of pressure on Rochdale now.
Yeah, it leaves from the field of play. Gareth was scrutinising where he'd left from and where he got to, and he'd certainly left from in the field of play, so it's the right call.
And Ford did well as well, didn't he? Waited for him to land, didn't hit him in the air. Perfect tackle, big chance for Oldham.
Matthew Haggerty starting on the bench. One for Oldham. Now they go with Ward in the skull cap. Scamper from dummy half as Files brings it away. He's got a few tries to his name this year. Palfrey back inside to Ward, looking for that offload. Scrappy. They keep hold of it though. It's Crowley. Has he got through? Adam Files held up.
Well, Rochdale will have spoken all week about the danger of Files out of dummy half. He scored some tries there, and they do a good job there because he's over the line, but they hold him up.
And here is the final play. Palfrey with the kick. Gets hold the ball. Got to keep it alive. Quickly smothered by Rochdale.
Good scramble from Rochdale. Trying to keep the ball alive there, Oldham, on the finish to their sets, and Rochdale do enough to not only defuse the kick from Palfrey, but scramble around and stop the offload flurry afterwards.
Dave Hull, the man who jumped on top. First point of contact for the Rochdale defence, and it's the Hornets now bringing the ball away by a fierce red line of defence in terms of their local rivals, Oldham. Don't forget, of course, promotion on the line for the winner of this game. They're playing the championship next year alongside North Wales Crusaders, who topped the table.
I think Greenwood's been real good out on that right edge there. You know, he's making meters every time he carries the ball, and he's giving the Hornets a bit of momentum towards the back end of this set here.
Well, we've had Greenwood and Llewellyn looking really impressive on the edges, running well, and you have to say that Oldham too have complemented their edges with Crowley and Langtree.
Goro, the man with the first carry for Oldham. The last few runs at that Rochdale defence, they found a few gaps, and now Lepori again shakes off one tackle.
His work rate's terrific, isn't he? He looks to get into dummy half almost every time they come off their own line, Lepori, which adds to his own, you know, kick returns as well.
Palfrey picking it up at dummy half. Not too many options, but Files was there. 5 tackles used, so the final play just a little bit too far in front of Palfrey. Arms outreached, knocks it on.
Well, that knock-on happened 2 plays ago, and what I mean by that was Palfrey went in to make a kick 2 plays before that. He got disruptive and then tried to find himself a place in the line. Files had to carry the ball, the number 9, and he ended up having to rush his kick in the end, and ended up rushing the pass to him to find position, which caused the problem.
On that shorter side with Trumper. Crook picks it up through the hands of Roper. It's man for man on this left side. Cutting it away. Penultimate tackle of the set. Llewellyn, he can't get through either.
I just wonder if Crook might drop a goal. He does like them.
In front of the sticks, the extra one. There it is. Is it just to the side?
I thought he missed it. He missed it, didn't he? I'm not gone blind. He missed it. Let's have a look.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Thank goodness for that. He missed it by 10 metres.
I already had that down as a point there. Doesn't miss too many of those, although got interesting towards the end of that final qualifier. These two sides played 2 weeks ago. We got one in the final few moments of that game. 23 points to 22. Rochdale won it to claim the week off ahead of today's final. It's worked so far for them. Palfrey. Back around for Thompson. Former witness man is Thompson. Palfrey again then. Lovely claim. Nice little gap. Trying to get through another one as well.
Great catch and carry from English.
We've seen Rochdale build off the back of good momentum, speed of the play of the ball.
I'll tell you something. we haven't seen a penalty yet. That's going to increase the engines of all these players. Will go down a lot quicker without the stops out of a penalty or two.
I must admit, I'm a fan of this style of refereeing, to be honest. You know, it lets the teams get on with it. I know you do have to give penalties at times, but a bit of common sense element lets the teams get on with it. It's been a good game for the benefit of that, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with you, Gareth.
A little chip over the top, the kick. Just a little bit too strong.
What did you make of the drop goal play, Brian, as a coach there? Is it an indication of how tight they think it's going to be, or should they get the pressure on?
I'm a huge believer in that if you can keep the tins rattling, and that's what I mean, if you can keep the score rolling in your favour and you're coming back, I think the dynamics of the game these days insist that it depends what you're up against. But if you can keep the momentum and you're strong enough coming out of your own backfield, then I don't mind it at all. 2-score psychologically is a whole lot different to 7-0. Whilst it sounds only 1 point more, is 2 scores more. So it can increase the pressure on the opposition. Good tackle.
Huge tackle.
Jordan Case, I think that was.
Just as Oldham are looking to get their motors going. Matthew Haggerty chopped down. Here's Agoro now. Loses the ball. Rochdale back in possession.
I'm sure Palfrey's quite nailed his kicking game yet. Agoro came up with the play there and may have come up with the score, which is a strange contradiction on my part, but I don't think it was the actual kick he wanted to do. I think he had a little bit more height and a little bit more width, and to give Agoro a better chance of maybe coming up with the score.
Langley with the carry for Rochdale out of his own 20.
Is that 4? Yeah, got it. Can they move? 5. Hold. Go.
5 to go to half time. Another kick from inside the 40.
See, I thought that was a good defensive set from Oldham. They restricted Rochdale to inside their own half, but Crook's kicking game means that time and time again they're picking the ball up on their own line almost no matter where the set ends.
And yeah, if I was coaching Oldham at half, I got them in the sheds at half-time, I'd be talking about that. I'd be talking about giving Lepori and Agoro a better bit of a running chance on the kick by disrupting Crooks' kick.
It was forward, said the referee.
Well, all I can say is Oldham are giving Rochdale every chance here. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. What I'm saying is the few errors we've seen at that part of the field and the couple of forward passes that we've seen in this part of the field is giving Rochdale the opportunity to post some points.
And just because of that, Brian, you think Rochdale will want to go in more than 6 points in front because they probably have had the better opportunities?
Yeah, and we mentioned in the first game, didn't we, that there's a bit of a wind out there.
Crook into English. Try to get around that right-hand side.
Wait. Go. 2. Move. Hold here, hold. Go.
Plenty tackles still remaining for Rochdale. Strong legs, scamping through. They got a ball underneath the sticks, have they? The referee's going to have a look at it. John Crookson, initial point of contact, probably 10 metres out. Crawled his way through. Has he got the ball down? Has he put Rochdale further ahead? We'll check with the video referee.
Okay, we'll look at possibility of double movement. Does the ball come around, hit the floor? Does his momentum get him there anyway? It's still up. There's no question double movement. We're just looking at grounding now.
If you bounce on the floor, you're causing to stay on longer. If you lie there, you'll get a penalty.
I was trying to get up, sir.
Yeah, you bounce, you get nothing. It's up to you.
So we're happy with this bit. It's just this grounding now. There's probably the other angle, or it's probably better than that one because that doesn't show us. This might help us. Still in contact there. We lose sight of the ball on that one.
Same for yours, though, isn't it? I'm getting calls on you.
Probably that first angle is probably the best one.
Not getting involved, though. If you touch him, it's
nice and slow if we can. Hands on it. Hands still in contact. Comes away at that point. Yeah, it comes away. For me, that's a knock on. Yeah. So it's no try, and it's a 20-metre restart over the line.
Right.
James Childart, video referee, saying James Haggerty's hand in there, just the ball coming loose.
Yeah, right call. initially I thought he crawled his way over the line here, Cookson. I thought he wasn't overly confident, which should have tipped us up, I suppose, but clearly loses the ball right at the death there. But he got far too close for comfort.
Crookson's crawl just couldn't get there, just as they were looking to capitalise on all that possession that they've had in this first half. You were mentioning they might fancy more points before half-time. 2.5 minutes in which to do so, but at the moment we have to stop that Oldham train.
4, Cookie! Move! Hey, hold, go, 4. 5, move! Come on, you dive.
Palfrey again, and Thompson as they look to Agoro. Comes inside, the pressure pounced upon by Waring. The ball's run loose. They pick it up under the sticks. Well, they've got the ball down. This will be interesting. Chris Leatherbarrow, our referee, is going to have another look at it. Rather scrappy, but just moments after Rochdale thought they had it down. Do Oldham. Here's James Child.
Okay, so it's from a kick, so we need to check the onside. I think we end up with a couple of kicks in this. Let's judge this first one first. So onside to the right, it's just the guy to the left-hand side in the centre that's off, so if we can track him. That's okay now, so we're happy with that. This is the next bit we want to probably check, that how that ball comes out. Is this offloaded backwards, or does he lose it forwards? That looks backwards. This angle might help us, yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. That's backwards, so that's off his foot. Yeah, happy with that. That's a try, Chris.
And there it is. But a kick to come. Oldham could be level. We had a good look at that. Wasn't a vintage try that many people might have come to see.
Well, it was scruffy, and this Palfrey kick for Agoro, the little chip kick that they're certainly going to. He does well to catch the ball there. One of the talking points was that forward, and there's 22 onside or offside there at the middle. It was initially called offside, and Easy played on, and yeah, adjudicated that's gone backwards. And then a plethora of Oldham shirts in the frame. As long as they're all onside, I have no problems with the actual grounding.
It's a big swing, isn't it? Because Cookson nearly scored at the other end. If he gets over, it's 18-6. Now looks like we could be going in at half-time, 12-all. Big couple of minutes of play.
12 points apiece then. Just over a minute as Agoro as the ball spilled underneath the sticks. All square. 60 seconds to go in this first 40 minutes of this Championship 1 playoff final. Oldham, who finished second in the league, playing Rochdale, who finished third, for a place in next season's championship. Palfrey with a good claim from the restart.
Great catch. That was swirling around the ball there. Great kick-off from the Rochdale team, and Palfrey had to sprint towards the ball to catch it.
The charge through from Langtree. Gets the ball back, does Langtree, from the offload. Driving through, Phil Joy back on the field. Palfrey thought about the kick, eventually gets it away. He's Waring. As his seconds tick down at the end of this first 40 minutes. We'll go in at half-time, and it's all square. Oldham and Rochdale, 12 points apiece in this Championship 1 playoff final. It could have been oh so different, couldn't it? Crookson trying to crawl his way underneath the sticks. As Davies tries to, there he is, Crooks. But it's the Oldham side who maybe have their heads up at the end of this first 40 minutes. And the video decision with 2 minutes before the break. So put things all square. The analysis is on the way, but at half-time, Oldham and Rochdale level at 12 points apiece. Chris Leatherbarrow, our referee, Championships referee of the year. Rather than joining him, he's got a ball. He doesn't want to give his up either.
Ball person, as you've seen now. Ball politically correct in rugby league. Ball person.
We have a ball on the field. We're about to get underway.
From the
second
ball.
40 minutes.
From the ball people.
From the ball people. Lewis Palfrey gets us back off and underway. And Forster, the first man to take ball in hand.
He's been tough, Foster, hasn't he? Him, Greenwood, been particularly impressive.
Some good meters made by both the big sets of forwards on either side in that first 40 minutes. Here's McClurg from dummy half, trying to keep those legs going.
I thought it was interesting to hear from the two coaches. We saw Ian Talbot in the Rochdale dressing room. He seemed very calm and collected. Scott Naylor said there was a few things said in there that he couldn't repeat on television. Be interesting to see how those two different approaches have an impact on the first 10 minutes of this second half.
It's really in the match day programme as well that a couple of the players, one from each side, saying their head coaches are rather calm individuals. They never do the old storm and teacup throwing and all that. There's Agoro underneath the ball.
Caught the ball well today. Clearly that's the fourth or fifth time we've seen the ball kicked to him, both offensively from Palfrey when they've been attacking Oldham, and defensively when Crooks has put the ball to the air looking for a result. He's gone to Agoro.
More meters for Oldham. I wonder whether maybe feel like the better done by in the first half with that late try for them. Along the line they go again. There's Phil Joy using up the fifth tackle. Here is the final play. Palfrey with the kick. Is it going to be a bit strong?
Just a bit too strong from Palfrey. Gareth kicking me on the shins here and desperate for a penalty of some kind, so we could talk about that, but there certainly hasn't been one yet, I don't think. And you know, I think the statements and sentiments we made in the first half were that doesn't make for a bad spectacle, does it?
And a local derby as well.
Hasn't taken away from the toughness either. We had some big collisions between the players, you know. It's been all hard and fair so far.
McClurg didn't claim the ball as he ran through. Knock on there. Pressure was on from Dale Bloomfield.
Well, McClurg wanted a penalty, didn't he? He claims that Bloomfield's not moved away from the play, the ball there and in his way.
Yeah, he stuck his leg out as well. He's been smart there as Bloomfield. That's a fair play. It's a penalty, but it's not a penalty, if you know what I mean. McClurg's every right to blow up there for me. You have to clear the ruck.
Oldham fortuitous again then. It's Palfrey. 3 white, blue and red shirts on top of him. Little offload. Lepori trying to then fight his way through. Still dummy from Files. Gets it away.
Still 2.
Not too expansive, but setting themselves up now. Palfrey puts it into Haggerty. Pressure on now. Drops it back to Phil Joy as they set up the final play. Here's Files. Palfrey with the kick. Underneath it, claimed it. Is it down? They're looking at it again with Crookson. Has he got the ball down? And is it Oldham that draw blood first in this second half? 4 minutes in. Have they got it?
Okay, we're looking at onside, so pause it on the foot. I think we're looking at that guy out on the edge of the screen, which looks okay to me. I don't know if we've... Yeah, we know what the winger's okay. I think that ball goes back off the catch. Let's have another look at that catch if we can.
If you step on it and play it, it's going to be a penalty. You get it?
We'll just have another look at the catch. Just make sure. I think it's... Yeah, it's off the Rochdale player. We'll just have another angle on the grounding, just confirm the grounding, which looked okay initially.
You stepped off the mark, so the player can't get out of the way.
Nice and slow, nice and slow. Hands on, short there. Momentum still on, hands still on the ball. That's a try. Try, Chris.
David Cookson, who joined from Oldham St Anne's 2 years ago, scores in this Championship 1 playoff final. Oldham then into the lead for the first time in this game early in the second half.
That's another smart kick from Palfring. Cookson gets up above the defender and regathers the ball after a bit of a juggle.
Lewis, it must have been close.
I think it's Hull that he jumps over and gets the ball down clearly there. That picture there, we see the grounding. I think that's a fair try.
Yeah, good kick from Palfrey, right on the money, wasn't it? Perfect for Cookson to attack, and I don't know whether Rochdale might have felt they were going to a Agoro, but he's come short. A nice little variation in the kick. And it's his conversion now as well, Palfrey.
Raised flags, the extra 2. Oldham 6 points ahead. And here it is again. The kick out. Cookson's underneath it. Puts it down. Oldham now in the lead for the first time. Oldham this season finishing just 2 points behind North Wales in the regular season. Now the side who did finish higher in the table in the lead, breaking through as well, looking to apply further pressure. Agoro not giving up.
Yeah, the score appears to give Oldham a lift, doesn't it? Some strong carries from the restart.
And just as a response to that, I think Chris Huff will come back on for Rochdale. He's just getting stripped on the far side of the field there. You know, try and get them back into this arm wrestle. He'll lift them. He'll have plenty to say, I'm sure. He's about to come back on, I think, in this next set.
Palfrey's kick then.
Play on now.
Taken comfortably. Oh, good chase as well. Ouch. Bang. There he was Langtree. He's deployed a few of those today, hasn't he?
Well, you see the physical element of the game and how it can transpire into the next play. People have their cages rattled, and but here's your man Huff to steady the ship.
I think Naylor had said at half-time when he wanted a bit more boom. I think he used that word, and he's certainly got it, hasn't he, the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second half.
Huff then into Forster.
Well, they're not missing each other now.
Huff, the assistant coach, offers it back. Crooks now with a kick. Agoro there. Lapori as well. It's the Italian international. He does pick it up.
Hold it away. Come on, Chris, go.
Anti-Rochdale shirts there as Palfrey tried to get away. Now with Bloomfield. Ducked around.
Go.
More space as well.
Hold. Go, good. 4.
Floating back though. Files wasn't expecting that. Ball's run to ground. Rochdale back with it. There's Sloppy as well, getting the ball away. The free play takes it back over to the other side of the field.
I think Rochdale need that a little bit. You know, Oldham have started with some real fire in this second half, got a bit of momentum, an unforced error really there. Rochdale probably just need to regroup a bit, get back into this arm wrestling and get back to what they were doing well in the first half.
So Rochdale then. Possession, they just slip. marks him at dummy half as now English tries to dive his way under the red shirts.
Go.
Off into Trumpet. Almost away, but Kenny Hughes keeps hold of him. Another strong run from Forster. Took a knock to the head in the first half, but seems unaffected. Still doing plenty hard yards. Onto ground. He's forced them back a few extra metres. The Hornets. And the final tackle as well now.
Good, Matty, good to go. 5.
How far can they push Oldham back? There's Bloomfield underneath it. It's a little high. Still no penalty in this game so far.
Go, turn around, good to go.
There's again the tackle on Bloomfield.
Hold! 3, move! Wait! Thompson, you're off, Thompson!
They just seem to be winning the collisions a bit, don't they, Oldham, at the moment? You know, each getting over the advantage line. They're playing off the front foot. Palfrey's kicking off the front foot here. They've started this second half very well.
Lovely kick. Just held up inside the in-goal area as Langley brings it away.
Right. Let's go. 2, move! Here, hold it, Langley. Wait.
Here's Huff then at dummy half. Solid stuff from the Oldham defence again.
Wait. Play the ball. Go, 3.
Forster floats it out.
Gone back. Still 3. 4. Move! Wait.
And here we go with a couple of tackles remaining. Trying that shorter side.
5.
Almost got away.
On. 5. Wait. Go.
Eventually the kick squeezed out.
It's gone back.
Lepori as it jumps over his shoulder.
Well, Cookie! Hold on here, Wayne. Go, up for you, good to go.
The next score really is crucial, I think, now, isn't it? There's not been much between them all game, and if Oldham can get themselves 2 scores in front, I think that'll be potentially very decisive in this game.
Get up.
Bloomfield was almost away.
I agree with that, Gareth, and they do look slightly the stronger and more organised team at the moment. It seems like Rochdale are looking for that element of a little bit of break from a player, a little bit of brilliance. Well, Oldham are doing the team stuff, and
Move! Can't hold it. Wait. Go. 4.
nervous part of the game where nobody really wants to do anything too wrong, but nobody wants to do anything too right, and it's the brave team here that will seize the day.
G fires it back to Palfrey. Puts the kick down the centre this time. English is underneath it. One bounce and runs dead.
Just a point for me on you know, the referee not giving penalties. I don't advocate penalties at all. But there has to be an element of honesty. You can't get away with things. You just can't abdicate your responsibility not to penalise either foul play or some gross infringements in and around the rope that are giving a team an advantage. So as long as we get that, I'm cool with it. You know, no penalties. But when there are clear penalties, you've got to give them.
Knock on from a play of the ball from Rochdale inside their own 40.
I just worry for Rochdale here. I think, you know, what you was on the back of what you were just saying there, Gareth, about the next score and the pressure getting to people and things like that. This is a dangerous period in the game for Rochdale.
Yeah, Thompson, the last couple of times he took the ball forward, has been kind of complaining about people hanging on and looking for a penalty. He was trying to get it away quickly then and just fumbled the ball. And that's a little bit of what Oldham were doing in the first half. They made the mistakes down here, and the tide's turned a little bit at the moment.
Rochdale in defence. The cover coming across to put Palfrey down. And to Phil Joy.
He's got hold of it. Go.
Good hands as John Ford drives up towards the 10. Gee, this time 6 metres away. Men over on that right-hand side. Here's Lepori. Looked a little forward as it was squeezed through. The referee says it's fine. And we've got one tackle remaining. Look at the drop. Looked like a drop goal from Palfrey. Tight angle there. Didn't really have the room to put it away either.
I'd like to see that again. I'm not sure. Was it an attempt at a drop goal?
Didn't really get the ball. I didn't really get the kick away. Either for a drop goal or through into the in-goal area.
Still time for the tough stuff for Rochdale now, though. Oldham have great field position here on the back of that kick, whether it's a drop goal or not. And they'll be looking to front-load their energy.
Just get up and play it.
They're not quite making the meters they were in the first half, coming off their own line, are they, at the moment? You know, as Naylor wanted, I think Oldham have lifted their intensity in defence. And at the moment, Rochdale just struggling to get out of their own half at the moment. That's a good carry from Forster again.
Forster brings it up.
Matt Tyler. Hold the discipline, hold. Go, GG. 5.
It's the final play from Rochdale. Agoro underneath it.
They got a good kick,
teasing him. Misses the first tackle, but runs into 2 white shirts after that.
Johnson! Here, wait. Go, good.
It feels like the crucial time of the game now, doesn't it? They're both, like Brian said, almost just feeling each other out. They don't want to make the big mistake. Kicks rebounded there.
Well, that might be just a break that Rochdale needs to get some footing back in this game, because they hadn't had any field position. That ricochet kick from G has given the opportunity to get into the Oldham half for the first time this half.
2 tackles and they're on halfway. Can they make use of this field possession? Had the lead twice in the first half, did Rochdale.
Wait. Go, 3.
He's in the hands. Nice little break. Support as well from Crooks. Crooks couldn't get away. Lepori round one ankle.
He had English filing up the middle. He was firing away. Would have scored. Just couldn't quite get his hands free, Crooks.
Joe Greenwood using his big frame to push further forward. Here's Hoff, dummy half. The final play. The kick along the turf. Bounces up. It can't be taken. Chased down by English. The boot was there from Oldham. See it safe. Get a repeat set.
I think it was Palfrey that gave it the habit behind the sticks, didn't he? Boom. There you go. Have it.
And English was there again. As you said, Brian, he was right on Crooks' left shoulder, wasn't he? Quick drop out by Oldham, but Huff's going to bring it back for Rochdale. A big chance for them to get back into this game now.
A few of the Rochdale players weren't expecting it so quick. Huff, the Rochdale's benefit, was one of the men who was anticipating it. Here he is, Hoff, switching it back round. Forster, flown it again as Greenwood drives on. Lofted up to Crooks. Through again as Roper caught in possession.
Go.
Looking on the short side, English. Forcing it through. Are they down? He's on his back. Dave Hull, the referee says they are. They're in. Dave Hull grounding the ball on that left-hand side. It was a little run from English that set it up. And we're back to 2 points now and a kick to come.
Well, it's English out dummy half that's the threat. Puts a lot of doubt in the Oldham defenders now. They don't come forward, and on the short pass, well, that's nothing to do but to get the ball down. English is the master in chief there, and quite clearly gets the ball down. And a touch from his, a call from his touch judge. Yeah, quite clear. No reason to go to the screen. Good decision, officials. Good try, Hull.
And I think Rochdale needed that, didn't they, Brian? You know, they had the break there, the excellent break from Davis that Crook continued. And it came to nothing at the time, but they managed to get the repeat set through Crook's kick. Come up with the try, and now the standoff Crook has got a conversion to level us up again.
Well, we saw an altogether tidy drop goal attempt from Crook early in the first half. And the thumbs up from the Rochdale fans, because we're back all square, 18 points apiece. Very little separating these two sides all season, all year. And we're just about to enter the final quarter. Nothing splits them today.
That's a good play from English, and he's been showing up on the last 4 or 5 offensive sets for Rochdale, and he played his part there.
And this is it now, isn't it? Well, we've got 22 minutes now, a full season on the line pretty much. This is exactly what the neutrals would wanted. Which team will hold the nerve better?
Forster, yet again, putting his hand up. It's Rochdale come again. Buoyed by Dave Hull's try.
And what a golden point. We were golden point last time we were here between Leigh and Batley. Could still be a chance here today.
You love a golden point, don't you? That's all he talks about, golden points.
John Keir says Batley only play 88-minute games now, apparently, so if it goes that way in the game later, they'll be all right as well.
He's been good today, O'Gora, hasn't he? They've tested him out.
Yeah, they've kicked towards him every time, haven't they? They've hardly kicked to Bloomfield all afternoon. And as Brian says, O'Gora's come up with the goods on the vast majority of occasions.
For Oldham then, Sam G at dummy half. Through Bloomfield, through the hands of Palfrey as well. He's caught on halfway. It's a little high. He's down, he's suffering a little bit. He's holding his ankle. As he goes on, here he is, Palfrey.
It's hard to see from that angle, isn't it? Whether he got hit round the head or maybe let's have a look at this one. No, it's on the shoulder, really. I think he's just stopped his momentum and twisted his ankle.
Yeah, he's holding his ankle. He's stood up now, Palfrey, in back play, but he doesn't look at ease, and that will be a huge blow for Oldham.
Yeah, you see his ankle goes underneath him.
It looks like he's going to continue.
Suffering a little bit. Give it a wiggle, be all right. Phil Joy, local lad, ex-Waterhead, signed up for 2014 for Oldham, powering further on as the Oldham train looks to steam down that middle. There's Palfrey with his first kick since it's rolling that ankle. Bloomfield's underneath it, gets the ball away. They've got men over as well. Why, oh why did Josh Crowley not go on his own? He was there.
I didn't think he
realised.
realised.
The goal line was begging.
He's been terribly unselfish, but he was there for him, wasn't it?
Oh. He'd thrown English off and then passed the ball to English, I think. Yeah. He'd got rid of English's attentions here. It looked like he was going to score, and then he's giving the ball. Big let-off for Rochdale, and Oldham will feel they should have scored.
Into the final quarter. 18 points apiece. Here's Chris Huff. His 9th season at Rochdale. Now they bring it away. Pressure as well.
There's that kick pressure you'd asked for, Brian, and they've got to him there, haven't they, on the 5th tackle. That's a massive play from Oldham. I don't know whether they were setting up for it, but 3 of them shot straight at Crook then. Big turnover.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
How crucial will that be? Langtree took the first drive. Phil Joy with another. G switches direction. Bring it back on the inside as well. No room for Thompson. G on his own now. Look for the offload. Looking to scamper underneath as well. That kick pressure sets up Oldham. Goal line defence holding on at the moment for Rochdale.
This is a big play, people. This is the play.
Final tackle. Palfrey goes on the sidestep, gets chopped down. Rochdale hang on. Still nothing to separate these two.
And I think it's English again here. There's probably 2 tries he's saved in the last couple of minutes there. He read the play. I think everyone was expecting Palfrey to kick, but Wayne English has read it. And now it's up to Rochdale to bring the ball off their own line.
Forster again. 3 red shirts hold him on the 20. Bolts is in there tackling this time for Oldham.
Go.
Through hands, Bloomfield helps out.
Release him. Here, 4. Go.
And Crook will be hoping to make sure he gets his kick away this time, I'm sure.
5, Josh. Move. Here, on 5. Play on.
Which he does.
And yet again, Agoro
And it's a good kick.
fox him a few times. Picks it up. Couldn't quite break that white line.
And I guess this is where the fitness of the forwards comes into play as well, because both teams are turning the other round and forwards have to make a big effort to get back in now and take the ball forward. Fitness will have a big part to play in this last, what, 17 minutes have we got left now?
Yeah, I got it.
Trying to get the quick play of the ball now. Oldham trying to keep things moving, pushing that Rochdale line back,
Good set
keeping them going in one
Keep the
direction.
momentum going.
Palfrey's kick forcing them further back. Been pushed right back down their own end. Couldn't quite force them to keep it in play. A restart on the 20.
Well, great set. Not the best kick to finish the set with. Gives Rochdale the opportunity to walk back, reduce their energy, and have a free 20-metre start. So Oldham, on the reverse side of that, will front load their energy and see if they can force some errors and get some decent shoulder contacts.
Forster and Huff combine again.
2, Josh. Move. Wait. Go. Good.
I wonder if there's ever been a grand final in this country otherwise without a penalty. We've seen the odd game in league games every now and then. Grand final's relatively new concept. Could be a first today.
Commentators curse Gareth.
I've got to say, the longer it goes, what if this game's decided on a penalty? Gosh, you put the pressure on everybody now.
5. Move.
Langley taken down on this right-hand side. The final play of this set for Rochdale. Crook with the kick into the sky. Goes down the side of Agoro. It's pushed back. The referee says it is still the 5th tackle. Chip over the top now, chased down. Lapori's there, dragged behind his line. Has he let the ball go as he knocks it on? Is there a tackle there? The referee says it's a penalty.
It's in front of him.
Penalty for offside. There we go. We won't have a penalty-free final.
2.
Not that that matters.
Let's go for the 2, boys.
But Rochdale knocks on and picks the ball up, so picking the ball up after the knock-on.
It's hard to blame Thompson, isn't it, really,
Yeah,
when they're so
he's gotta
close to
do
the
it.
line. He's got to pick the ball up.
Absolutely. He does have the chance to have a committee meeting. Am I onside? Am I offside? He can't gather around his troops. He thought, what if they pick it up and they score? It's 6 points. No, he's done the right thing.
He's going for the 2 as well.
I think Wayne English again deserves a rap. We've seen him save 2 tries down at the bottom end. He's picked up a loose ball there, chipped over the top and trapped Lapori behind his own line, forcing the knockout. And the Rochdale fullback there's had a big say in the game in the last 5 minutes or so here and given Paul Crook the chance to put his team back in front.
Championship 1's top goal scorer in 2013, Paul Crook. Sneaks his side. 2 points into the lead here at Leigh Sports Village in this Championship 1 playoff final. Well, at the moment, it's Rochdale with, well, not even a foot in the Championship next year. They've got maybe a little toe in there. Plenty time to play. But there it is. The penalty that led to that slender 2-point lead.
Well, that was a 2-point play from Wayne English for sure. He chased the kick. He made the tackle. He forced the error. Crooks had the easy job of slotting the 2 over. Ooh.
That's a big tackle. That's a big run as well.
Wait! Cookie, get it! You're bouncing!
No stopping him there.
2 shots! Move! Wait onside, wait! Go!
Rochdale want to back up those points with a big set here.
Shoulder, here, wait. Go, good, 3rd.
Get on and back down the other end. Huff taking it from dummy half.
The ship's been a whole lot steadier since Huff came back on the field, hasn't it?
Go!
I think it's his influence on players around probably as well, Brian. He's just constantly talking, telling people where they should be, when they should slow it down. Decent set from Rochdale.
Crooks' kick. Palfrey tracks back to claim it. Doesn't give them the breathing space they might have wanted. Lapori keeps going, doesn't he?
Go, turn around, you're good to go.
Here's Bloomfield now. We've seen Oldham trying to up that momentum when they've got ball in hand.
That's a good tackle from Llewellyn, is it, and Foster. Slowed the Oldham momentum down there. A couple of quick rucks and smart play.
Forward pass.
Forward pass is given. I think he got a shout then because it was a bit of a late whistle, but I think he might have got a shout from a touch judge.
On the halfway line, boys. Forward pass.
Oldham with the error just inside that Rochdale half.
Gee, that's a tough call.
Marginal.
Yeah, I think that's a tough call as well, and an important one as well there. They still had 2 tackles left in that set, Oldham. Chance to attack the line, and instead now they're turning the ball over on halfway. Fans of both clubs now trying to rally the team. 12 minutes left.
Nervous times. Both of these sides really not in desperate need of a final win, but so longing for one. Rochdale in possession, with their noses in front.
Hold! Go! 2, move, Luna! Go!
It's Greenwood again. He's come back on now, hasn't he? Had a bit of a spell. I thought Trumper was good as well on this side, but Greenwood, both spells, has been good. Be interesting to see how Hornets approach this set now, what they look to do at the end of it.
Inside that 20 now.
Good morning, Wait. Got the 4.
In the penultimate play.
5. Move, Bolter! Hold 5.
Resolute defence from Oldham so far. Charge down on the kick as well. Sam G got a boot on it. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. What's the referee going to say? Reset back to 6. Sam G's charge down didn't quite work. Here's Langley.
What a big bounce of the ball as well if it goes Oldham's way there on the front foot coming away from their own line. They've got another set to defend now.
This could be the set of the game for Oldham. They need to be strong here.
Forster edging them closer. They've got a 2-point lead. Can they make it more? Crook stepping inside. Got himself a couple of extra meters. 2 more plays to come. Fires it back. Roper couldn't get away. Closed down by those red shirts, and here we go. Final go. Are they going to squeeze their way through? Ball's lost. It's come loose. We'll have a look at it. I think Chris Leather-Barrow's going to have a look to see exactly what happened. Rochdale thinking they got the ball down, but I think the ball's come away. Here's James Child, our video referee.
Okay, we're just checking, does he lose it? Or is it stolen, I think? Don't have a great view of the ball there. Let's have a look here. How does this ball come out? Does he lose it, or is it knocked out? That's the question we've got to look at. Let's have a look at that again if we can. Nice and slow. That's come backwards. That's play on. There's an Oldham player that gets onto it initially, and the Rochdale player picks it up. So we have this one. Yeah, this is the one, I think. So that goes back. It's loose ball there. That's first hand is the Oldham player, and picked up by Rochdale. Do we have another one in the other corner just to check that grounding, because we're looking at a possible try here, I think. I'm happy this one comes back. That definitely goes back. Initial is Oldham, then it's picked up by Rochdale, so that's play on. And we just want to see that grounding. This is the corner, I think, that will tell us. So we're just looking at this last shot, if we can. Yeah, Ball's on the ground there, so that's a try, Chris.
Well talked through by James Child, and here it is. It's a try for Rochdale. The fans go wild here at Leigh Sports Village. 6 points they lead. The kick to come, and what a big call there.
Well, credit Oldham as Rochdale, they keep playing. Cookson keeps playing. Llewellyn keeps playing. Rochdale hand adjudicated on Oldham hand, knocks his ball free. He's in a loose carry. The ball's adjudicated to go backwards, so it doesn't matter. Cookson picks the ball up and plonks it over the line.
What I'd say, I think it's very similar to the Oldham one in the first half, where you could perhaps argue as it come backwards out of his hand that it bounced forwards. Both very similar. Both sides have got one each. And Crook now has a conversion, and this is a 2-score lead if he kicks this with just 9 minutes left.
Big conversion for Rochdale, and it's successful. How crucial can that be with 9 minutes to play in this Championship 1 final? Ian Talbot and his Rochdale Hornets leading now by 8 points. There it is, Llewellyn. The ball comes away. Former Leigh man Cookson stretches out above his head to touch the ball down. And could it be on for Rochdale? Llewellyn goes up, taken in the air. Let's have a few more penalties, shall we?
Well, that's a penalty. You can't do that. Just tackle him in the air.
Bit scrappy from Michael Ward in the tackle. Llewellyn's still down.
If Rochdale get the other side of the line here, Gareth, and they get their win and the promotion, what would it do for rugby in the town, rugby league?
Well, hopefully it'll give it a real lift. You know, there's plenty of support here. Traditionally, they've not been a well-supported club particularly, but for the big games, you see the same faces that you've seen years ago come and watch the games, and it'd be nice to see them down at Scotland every week in the Championship next year. You know, it is a club with a terrific potential. It was relaunched by the supporters themselves. This is a supporter-owned club, remember, which certainly wants mentioning. And they've had a tough few years, and it'll mean a lot to the people who care about Rochdale Hornets today. Hopefully they can build on it.
Yeah, just 4 years after administration for the old Rochdale Hornets.
Yeah. 8 points. 8 points in 8 minutes. Well achievable.
But it's the side in the lead. Well, at 2 scores. And have the ball in hand. How those fans be feeling now?
Good carry.
Cookson's had a good second spell on the field, hasn't he? Including his try. He took them forward and helped out Forster, who's been terrific all game, I think, Carl Forster.
Greenwood getting the ball away. It's Alex McClurg who scampered out, taken down. And the drive again from Cookson. He's taken a knock, has he? Referee stops the clock. Getting to his feet, but rather slowly. Just had the wind knocked out of him there, has he?
I think he's all right.
There's Bloomfield. Looking for a break.
You wouldn't bank against there being another twist still, would you? The way these two teams have gone at it and the history between them this season especially. Rochdale can't afford to relax, I don't think. You know, Oldham will still feel they can get something out of this.
Well, the point swing between these ties this season as we see another penalty. This time given to Oldham. It's getting a little bit tasty out there as well now. I know what it means to both sides in these dying few stages, but just 2 points if you aggregate the scores out there the entire season between the 5 games so far. 2 points split them.
I think that is Oldham's first penalty, isn't it? So they need to take advantage of this if they're going to play any further part in this grand final.
Scamper through with Files. Nominated in the Young Championship 1 Player of the Year award. There's Files. There's Ward. Brings it through this time. Palfrey. eventually get some room for himself and almost through Oldham. Files with a kick, no one there. Seems safe, just. Maybe they need something, or maybe they needed something off that, Brian.
I wasn't sure it was that too smart a play. There's an element of a little bit selfish there, I thought. I think the team had got within 10 metres of the line. There's plenty of time here to have 2 cracks at them, get the ball back. But to stop the clock and give them a free 20 minutes, I'm not sure it was a smart play.
Not too much of an urgency about Rochdale's play now as well. And they've got the destination in sight. Still 5.5 minutes to play though. It's getting to crunch time. McClurg. Rochdale inside the Oldham half now to kick through. Charge down. And just looking to run the clock down.
He's been influential, hasn't he, Crook, again, especially first half. His kicking was great. Oldham had a bit of a better spell in the third quarter, perhaps, but he's settled them down again, Crook. Experienced player at this level, him and Roper have played together a few seasons for Rochdale now, and that tells. And their side now stands like 4.5 minutes away from promotion.
Oldham then feed the scrum. I'm going to have to look to register some points. And there he is, Lepori with a break down their right-hand side. He can't quite feed Agoro. Great run by the Italian international.
I feel that was their chance.
Looking for space. Agoro is there on his right-hand shoulder. Ball's run loose.
He just got a sniff under Lepori. I think somebody just collars him as he passes, which might have affected it. If he gets away here. And there's Waring, I think. He just gets a collar hold of him there as he's passing to Agoro. And as Brian said, that might have been their big chance.
Have we just seen Oldham's one final opportunity at a possible Championship 1 playoff final victory go? Or will they get the opportunity to get themselves back? What we see now, another set from Rochdale to run down the clock, keep hold the ball, kick to touch. Oldham trying to keep the intensity up. Force them to make those plays as quick as they can, get through this set.
Good, Langy, good talk. Go.
It's Crook. And here is the final play for Rochdale.
It's only going one place again, I think, there, isn't it? As soon as Crook put his hand up for the ball. Straight out there. Telling his side to calm down.
We've got this in hand, he says. And Brian, man of the match. We've just seen him, Mr. Paul Cook.
Yeah, I think his kicking game's been very, very good. I think he's only been got to once by the Oldham team, and it's enabled Rochdale to be at the right end of the field for most of this game. And whilst there have been really impressive contributions on both sides of the field, and especially from the forwards of both teams, I think Crook's kicking game has been the difference today.
Yeah, even when Rochdale have had the sets where they haven't got out of their own half, which has happened a couple of times when Oldham have been on the front foot in the forwards, Crook's kick inevitably turning them round within their own 20 metres, and that's played a big part, I guess, for them today.
If the last play for Oldham was where they were potentially needing points, then they definitely need something here. The kick over the top bounces favourably for them. Can they keep hold of it? It's been knocked forward though, says referee Chris Leatherbarrow. There's Lepori, the ball over the top. Just couldn't claim it. Hands on it. Touching it forward. And Rochdale are going to start to sense it. The possibility of being in Championship 2014. Taking their time to set this scrum down. Waited 22 years to appear in a final, did Rochdale. Will it be success as they look to space on this right-hand side? It's a break now as Langley runs. He's got support as well. He's inside with English. English charges through, and this will be it. Rochdale will play in the championship in 2014. English on this right-hand side with Gareth Langley. Two of the men that have been influential in Rochdale's season in 2013. And that's it. Promotion will be secure. And Oldham are going to suffer a 5th straight playoff final defeat.
Well, it's that man Foster that creates the overlap. The first Langley and then English supported on the inside. It's a terrific break, but man Foster with the money ball went on an outline and tracted the centre, put him away. Oldham's defenders couldn't make the defensive play. Off he goes Langley on his inside. His English has been there all afternoon. Had a great game himself, Wayne English, and deserves to finish with a try.
It's not bad from a prop in the 79th minute, that is it. He's had a big game, Forster, standing at standoff and has created the last try. And while I completely agree with Brian's man of the match in Paul Crook, I think it's fitting for Wayne English. He's a Rochdale lad. When the game was in the balance, he came up with 2 try-saving players at the other end. He's come up with a try at the end there to top it off. And as Ian says now, Rochdale can plan for life in the championship next year.
They've waited long enough. The longest wait for a final in current rugby league. And that ended when they took to the field. And the extra 2 from Crook as well. The man of the match in this Championship 1 playoff final. And Rochdale are starting to feel it now. The clock's ticking down with 60 seconds to play. English here bursting down. Had support on the inside. English securing promotion. Oldham trying the short kick-off. McClurg claims the ball. Scampering in his unique running style. Up to that 30. And they're going to be in no hurry at all. No hurry at all. Oldham's quick line opened things up there as well. Here's Greenwood. 20 seconds to go in this 2013 Championship 1 playoff final. And here will be the final play of this playoff final. As the hooter goes, and Rochdale win a trophy 91 years after their previous one. Having waited 22 years for an appearance in the final, they will play in the championship in 2014. They've beaten their derby rivals, Oldham, who suffer their 5th straight playoff defeat. Stretching back to 2001, the Rochdale players absolutely jubilant. They've worked hard all year, they finished 3rd, they finished below their rivals today. But there is Ian Talbot, who's seen his side promoted into the championship. The Oldham players on their haunches, sat on the field. They've given everything they could. Not only today, but all season. Finishing just 2 points behind the North Wales Crusaders at Oldham. Wasn't quite enough today. And it's Rochdale who win the head-to-head this season as well, 3-2 against Oldham. But the only thing that mattered, the only game that mattered, was this one. And the Rochdale Hornets securing promotion. Heartbreak for Oldham Ruffians. Their wait will go on, but they'll be back fighting next year. Disappointment will be hard to get over. And our man of the match this evening, Paul Crook, will be down pitch side with Nappy.
Paul congratulations. Celebrating so much today. Grand final win against your old rivals, but also promotion. How does that feel?
Oh, I can't even begin to say how it feels. These lads have put so much effort in this year, and this is exactly what they deserve. We've come together as a team, relatively new team at the beginning of the year, and we've stuck in through mid-season. We had a bit of a down patch, but we've come good at the right time.
Bit of a star performance from you today, but also in this playoff run-in as well. How much have you enjoyed this season?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I had a good season last year, but it all came to nothing really with a loss in the quarter-finals, and this has just made it absolutely fantastic.
Well, you've been here 4 years. Just describe the impact that Ian Talbot has had this season.
Oh, Ian Talbot's a fantastic coach. I experienced life with him as an academy lad at Saints, and he's come back in. Nothing's changed. He's the same fella, but a lot more knowledgeable, and he's been an immense, just a role model for all of us. It's been absolutely fantastic.
How much are you looking forward to the championship next season?
Oh, it's going to be a big challenge, but I think we can rise to it. I think we'll give quite a lot of teams in there a good go at it, and like I said, we've done it this year. We'll try our best and we'll go at it.
Congratulations to our Kingston Press man of the match.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
The Rochdale players have gone over to thank their fans who travelled. They'd waited 22 years, but they've beaten their rivals to secure a place in next year's championship.
The ribbons on, and here is our referee, Chris Leatherbury. You're talking about the minimum number of penalties that he gave today. Gordon John Cox is the man from Kingston Press who's just handing over those medals to the officials. We did a game here, didn't we, earlier this year at this ground? I can't remember, it was Lee or Swinton when Chris Leatherbury was in charge and only gave away 1 penalty in the entire 80 minutes. So he's obviously a referee who likes to keep things going. And they're all getting their medals here, the officials. And there's our video referee for the day, James Child. Well done to him for the job well done. So the Rochdale players getting ready here to come up and collect their medals and lift the trophy. Of course, this is a final, but it's promotion today, so it's not your usual grand final procedure of both sides going up to get winners' medals, losers' medals, etc. We're only going to see Rochdale going up to here to pick up their trophy eventually and celebrate promotion as well. I mean, it's so sweet, isn't it? You know, you'd rather be North Wales Crusaders in some respects in winning the league and getting promotion that way, but there cannot be a sweeter feeling than winning promotion in this manner as well.
Well, I mean, North Wales had their tippet parading it around their ground at the end of the season because they finished top, the trophy that was up for grabs. But just the coupling with the fact that there's a promotion at stake here, I just think it's just really, really exciting for the town of Rochdale and what they've achieved. You know, they've shown up today, haven't they?
Big season as well next year, isn't it? With all the changes in the game, being involved in the championship next year could be very, very important. Wayne English moving in there as well. Scored that try at the end. And here they go. The trophy lifted. Rochdale Hornets have some silverware. It's been an awful long time since anybody could say that. But having reached a final for the first time in 22 years, they've not only reached it, they've delivered success as well. Promotion and a trophy. Not a bad day's work. Everybody wants a touch of that. The ribbons festooning that very sparkly piece of silverware. And they're going to do the lap of honour as well here.
Scott, commiserations. Losing a final is always hard to take, but the heartbreak of another grand final for your club is bitterly disappointing, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think Rochdale deserved it. You know, I ain't got any arguments. Rochdale deserved it. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. They did the right things at the right times, and they won the game. I haven't got no complaints. I don't think we turned up in some departments today, and eventually it cost us. It's very hard to take. We've got to move on.
How do you reflect on this season as a whole? I know it's difficult at this moment in time, but how do you look upon 2013?
I suppose in a week's time or 2 weeks' time we'll look back at it and hopefully look at it and think that we did a lot of good things. The ultimate question is, we fell short on the big day, and what we've done for the rest of the season is irrelevant. We haven't got promotion. We didn't deserve it on the day. It's a big learning curve for some of my lads, but you've got to lose one to win one, I keep getting told. But hopefully as a coach that'll be right for me, and 90% of that team, it's the first grand final, so hopefully things are different. But I feel for the lads, they've had a fantastic year and put a lot of time and effort in to get nothing out of it really, and hopefully we'll learn from it, and congratulations to Rochdale.
Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Well, a dignified response from Scott Naylor, but oof, that hurts, doesn't it? You could see how much that hurts.
Clearly disappointed for his players and for himself and for the club, as you would be. They've been strong all year, but as Scott quite rightly pointed out there, they didn't quite show up as they have been today, and it mattered today, didn't it? And it's easy to say that your whole season rests on this one game, but in relation to promotion, it did.
Yeah.
And Rochdale were the better team, and really honest, good words from Scott in relation to that as well. Congratulating the Rochdale club on what they've done and how enthusiastic they are about this now. And on the other side of that, the dressing room that Scott will have to pick up and go about picking up next year and start on the journey again and make sure they do it a different way next year round, I'm sure will be one of his ambitions.